Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. This is Cowboy 347, podcast producer and radio personality, and this message is for businesses in the local area. Did you know that today 100% of the population is 100% comfortable listening to voices? 73% of that 100% are full-time employees. Well, not only that, 83% of that 100% have at least $75,000 in their bank account. Are you looking to promote and articulate your system, scale your training, and scale your value? May I ask you a question? Are you tired of using a shotgun? Spraying the entire world with your value with just one post and one video only to hit a fraction of your target? To be a helper is to be a cowboy. And I'm Cowboy 347. Take this sniper rifle. Let me syndicate your business-to-business podcast where you can boost your interpersonal marketing. Articulate to your client avatar a compelling offer through strategic content planning and boosting your marketing with the least amount of effort and the least amount of time. To be an entrepreneur is to be in sport. And we all should be trying to find something to do before something to do finds you. I'm Cowboy 347. Let's go. Yes, Lord.
Yes, Lord. Did you know personal branding does way more damage than business in today's society? Did you know that 100% of the world is 100% okay with listening to people's voices? Imagine being able to impact the world with ability to communicate your solution. Imagine being able to discover your value that you bring to the hour, opposing someone who says you're worth $5.45. At Compound 99, you will discover producing from imagination, turning it into sweat equity, and learning how to use it serving that 99% demographic that is waiting for you to become the best version of yourself. We are looking for 30 creators, podcasters, entrepreneurs, and influencers who are looking to be a part of a community where their accountability, communication, and camaraderie every day for an entire year. Schedule your call and see if you qualify to be a part of the compound, where you will learn how to farm, delivering your compelling offer to your client avatar using the least amount of time and the least amount of effort while raising your market rate. Yes, Lord.
Let's get it. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. This is Cowboy 347. I believe that nothing happens on accident. I believe that we can elevate any and everything, no matter what we're subdued to. Yes, Lord. Why? Because we all are here on purpose. Yes, Lord. I'm Cowboy 347, podcast producer, and I am here with somebody that's willing to give you a front row seat of his passion work to inspire the 99%. To have a stick for the quicksand so that you can be inspired to remain in your creative space. I'm not going to hold the mic too much longer. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself. Yes, Lord.
Yes, sir. So my name is Parker Thomas Corrosive Orms. My hat company is called Hats by Parker Thomas. I'm a third-generation hat shaper from Denver, Colorado. My grandpa shaped hats for 60 plus years until the day he died. And my dad owns a hat company called the Cow Lot. And, I just grew up in Western hat shaping. Now I kind of created my own styles kind of for the, urban cowboy, or you don't even have to be cowboy. I can make you a classic fedora, whatever style hat you're looking for.
You just went off just now, Brother Parker. And I want to say that was a very modest introduction, but that allows me to do what I do best. Yes, Lord, download the iHeartRadio app where I play my film, Spotify. If you want to check all the other syndication platforms, click the Media Club link. Brother Parker, I want to celebrate you. I got a chance to do it before we got on this podcast, but I want to do it in front of the audience, and I want to say thank you. Third generation, I want to say thank you for being loyal to tradition being loyal to culture, being a creative, showing that art can be transferable, and also it can represent a plethora of things when it comes to your legacy. I want to say thank you, brother. Yes, Lord.
Yes, Lord. Thank you.
Yeah, inviting you on this show is definitely from an authentic and down to earth space where I want the audience to be just connected to process, being connected to how the process is more of working on us, right? Than
Yes.
the process working for us. And for you to be a third generation torch carrier, I just want to ask, before we get into the derivative of the contrivement,
Mm-hmm.
how did we get here? How did you become the torch carrier? But not only that, become one of like the frontliners of promoting culture. Like how did we get here?
Yeah, man. I mean, I grew up more on my mom's side of her family. Growing up in Denver, I played sports. I was a three-sport athlete: baseball, basketball, and football.
Let's go.
And that was my life. So
Let's get it.
it wasn't until, football was done, I didn't know what direction I was going to take, where my dad, he invited me or told me to come work for him and see what he does. And, I showed up to the National Western Stock Show here in Denver and
Let's go.
saw my never seen it done, but he'd been doing it his whole life. So he had a big crowd around him watching him shape a hat for a young cowgirl.
Yes.
And him do his thing, and kind of was sitting there like, who's my dad, really? So I walked up to him, talked to him about what he was doing. And yeah, he said, this is hat shaping, son. Like your grandpa still does this. He was getting back into it. So once he never thought I'd be getting into hat shaping, honestly. He like still is just thrilled to death that I'm doing it. And been hats with my dad and grandpa at different rodeos. We would load up the trailer, drive an RV,
Let's go.
hats at different events. So I kind of like, got hooked to it. And then all my friends, like there was a rapper Future rocking this black flat brim hat. And I wanted one just like that. So I made one.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's how it started. They're like, no way, I want a Future hat, because I want a Future hat. So I kept making those for just buddies of mine on the side. So then I thought, man, maybe I can, find a whole different market shaping these hats. And started making hats out of my best friend's brother's coffee whiskey bar. Just doing appointments there, and started a company with another buddy of mine. And I ended up selling it to him. That one was in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. So we were like our own like hat bar where you come in, have some drinks, and get a hat on your vacation. So that was sick. And then I ended up wanted to go back and work with my dad for a little bit. So I sold the company to him, and then got better at my craft too. I thought I knew everything at first, but I had a lot to learn still from my dad and my grandpa.
That's awesome.
About 2 years ago, did one of my friends that I made a hat for way back in the day. He made a hat for this girl that was moving to Colorado, and he was going to ask her to marry her. Piece of like how he felt for her, like moving and traveling. So that was cool. And then like 3 years later, they're getting married, and I did a pop-up at their wedding in Santa Fe. And from there, I just kept getting booked out different things.
I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. That actually sounds like just nothing but fun.
Yeah.
In terms of the process, but man, to be a cowboy is to be a shepherd. To be a cowboy, right? Is to be a helper. And I'm huge on that. And my great grandmother, she was second generation cowgirl. And born in Oklahoma, moving to McKinney. But she taught me a lot about our culture from Texas and Oklahoma. And just listening to you talk about the RVs, and your father. You said that your father owned a cattle ranch. what was it like growing up as a cowboy, right? Am I
Mhm.
am I correct? Now you grew up as a cowboy, right?
No, actually, I grew up kind of, you call me like an urban cowboy, but really, I grew up
Okay.
playing sports. That was more my dad's side of the family. So it
Got it.
wasn't for me later on to actually, really get into it where I
Got
was
it.
like, oh man, this is how the other side of the family's been living. And, my
Yes.
dad's from Texas. So anytime I
Okay.
went out to Texas, I was shooting guns and riding horses and stuff. But
Okay, got it, got it. All right, all
yeah,
right. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So, okay, being an urban cowboy, not really, because you
yeah,
said you was in the sports. I'm picking up what you're putting down. When
yeah.
it came to actually like, what was it like, going to Texas, shooting guns, being out on the land, being able to man land, right? Uh,
Mhm.
that captivated you when you caught your father actually, you know, contributing to what you was experiencing by being a professional, what I'm saying, marking hats.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could just see old pictures of my grandpa riding bulls and stuff, and like I got
Mm,
to meet some of his friends and even my dad's, old bosses, where they go to these Dallas markets and stuff or different rodeos, and I'd get to meet them and just, hear stories of, the way my dad grew up and stuff, and it kind of got me hooked. So I got to meet every one of my dad's friends has like a son now, just my age. So we'd go out to the rodeo, dance
yeah,
every night and go hang out and, you know,
yeah, that's
two
fire.
step, do all that stuff was like, it was still like new to me. It's still, something where I feel like now I'm 10 years into the hat game where
Let's
I've got
go.
to shape hats at the biggest rodeos like the National Finals Rodeo and, go out and hang out with, real ranchers and stuff, which is, something I wish I could have done, like
Yeah, yeah,
some of those
yeah.
things,
So
like
that
I'm
yo,
not gonna.
and that's why I had to ask you because a shout out to the bull riders, shout out to, man, the rodeo culture. But man, being able to grow up like on a ranch is actually something that I would have loved to have done as well.
Yeah.
And just from hearing from my great grandmother and just watching how your business, and we're going to get into the contrivement now. I just wanted to warm us up, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
you know, when it comes to Hats by Parker, right? And
Mhm.
watching you, holding shoulders with like, the frontliners, innovators from just different walks of life. But somehow you're still promoting and frontlining on the front line, promoting the culture of cowboy to
Yes.
so many different people. So jumping into Hats by Parker, right? We want to talk about, just a little bit of the ideology behind your permission marketing and just what you stand for. What is Hats by Parker really, you know, how are you really serving? What's the mission by Hats by Parker?
Yeah, I mean, it's really a universal hat company
Let's
where,
go.
I can shape a hat, for a cowboy and make a proper cowboy hat, or, I can go and make a nice classic fedora for someone that's just going to like a black tie event or something
Yeah.
like that. And, the hat comes from the same place. It starts with, an open crown, like a
Yeah.
blank canvas.
Hmm.
And then, I can shape a hat for, any person, any
Fire.
walk of life. So,
That's fire. And you said you've been in the game for 10 years.
yes, sir.
So from year one to year 10, after I believe your father acquired you sold to your father your prior business, right? And then
I
after,
sold to a buddy of mine that I started a company with, like we just went our separate ways. So I just
okay,
sold him the company and then went back to work for my dad.
okay, what is it like now, being, a vet in the game that, how can I say, the wisdom that you've acquired, how are you scaling, your market value and just to reach, to stay consistent, to stay relevant, to stay righteous in your cause, making your cause your career. But,
Yeah.
how are you looking to like literally, scale on a linear level and exponentially when it comes to your market value right now? Because it's
Yeah.
fly,
So
man. It's looking
thanks.
it's looking dangerous this year.
Yeah, it is, man. I know we got a big year coming up because My brother's actually getting into it for the first time, and my dad, my brother, and I are starting we started a company called Hat Masters, where you can come to us, learn how to shape hats, learn anything you want about hats, and we also sell them wholesale. We sell you all the tools that you need to start a company, just like I did. So we already had 10 people last year sign up and do it. They're all starting their own companies and doing well in different states. One's in Canada, even.
Yeah.
And then we just finished a recent class last week for 8-person class where 8 people came in, all from different places, all doing different things, but learning from my dad and I. Like, my dad's got this old classic way of doing things, then I'm kind of showing the newer school way of shaping hats and selling hats.
I got you. So now this is a podcast that, our demographics are, entrepreneurs, creators, innovators, influencers. Being a media agent for the media giant, 5 million weekly, 1 million, daily. I want to give you an opportunity to the audience right now as a business owner, as a vet in your craft, in your profession. What is some advice that you have for the entrepreneurs in today? Because we all know that entrepreneurship, sucks, and owning a business sucks, and the process sucks before, before the plane takes off. But what is some advice that you can give to our audience? We got Boca Raton, Katy, Texas is in here, Gary, Indiana. What is some advice you have?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like being your own boss, like being able to set your schedule. And my dad's motto is you do what you love, you'll never work another day in your life. And mine's like, if you do what you love, you'll work every single day of your life, because you want to do it. Like, every day I wake up excited to see what email I get. I just got an email, or I got a message on Instagram from the Pepsi Center where the Nuggets and Avalanche play. And they said that, Bad Bunny's coming. We want you to make a hat for Bad Bunny. So I'm about to make this dope hat for Bad Bunny. And he's going to be, he's going into his whole show's like Western based, his like last album. He's coming out on a cowboy, and he doesn't have a hat on. So they hit me up to make him a hat. And, it's going to be sick.
Salute. That's super dope. You know what? And the fact that you brought that up, I have to ask you, because it's the world's having a moment right now. When it comes to, Cowboy, right? America's symbol, right? How is the world where it's at right now, seeing that the culture is becoming way more popular now? Country, right? Is way more popular now. How has that been, affecting your side of things, and how are you like looking to take, advantage of it? Just to follow up on what you said about Bad Bunny, taking you to different levels, right? But the success ladder, right? How are you looking to take it?
I mean, I was just, talking to my girl last night about, of this, like, when's this kind of like cowboy market like plateau, or what's going on with it. But like Beyonce's coming out with a country album, Post Malone is, and I just think it's going to keep getting bigger. And just like a hat, like I said, that like a hat isn't just a cowboy hat, it's a hat for everybody. It's a universal hat. And I think the cowboy culture is too, like, the whole the lifestyle they have, like blue collar, that's universal, I think. So I think this whole thing is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And, there's a lot of just story behind a hat. So, my grandpa's got a shrine now after he passed. We have his hats, locked up where you can see him and stuff. He's in a museum with one of his hats. And, that's something I especially want, to have a kid to be a 4th generation hat shaper, guy or girl too. A lot of girls are getting into this too. And, they said that like barrel racers and like even ropers and stuff like that, girls are going crazy because they're like wanted to be more into the sport. So
going off. Yeah.
yeah.
Just so you know, the way you broke that down, I have a nice collection of cowboy hats, but you being the mantra, you being the spirit animal of the cowboy hat culture, I did not dare wear mines because I don't have a vintage felt, right? I don't have a vintage felt stamped by Hats by Parker cowboy hat on the show, but
Gotta get you one. I'll get you.
Yes, Lord. I know what it's like to have a good cowboy hat. I have a couple of hats that, man, just represents my journey as living in my truth and sharing my heritage with my children. That it means a lot to me, and I hope to pass that down to them, kind of like how your grandfather set precedents with your family. Super dope. Where can we find you, Brother Parker?
Yeah, so I love Instagram right now. Like if you want to follow me at Hats by Parker Thomas. I'm on TikTok too, Hats by Parker Thomas, or Facebook. But I'm in Denver, Colorado. I got a shop down in Cherry Creek. Opened up another shop in Larimer Square in Denver, where my buddy's opening up a speakeasy. And I'm going to be in the back downstairs, have my own little private room, and even late night stuff too. It'll be like a clubhouse. So a lot of stuff coming in the future. It's going to be sweet.
Super dope. And ladies and gentlemen, tap into the content of the episode, because I'm definitely going to be sharing any promotion of what Hats by Parker are offering in their quarter deliverance. So, Brother Parker, I want to say thank you so much for your time, brother. It means a lot. Yes, Lord, this is Cowboy 347. I believe that nothing happens on accident. I believe that we can elevate any and everything, no matter what we're subdued to. Why? Because we all are here on purpose. And let's get smarter by the day. Yes, Lord. Oh, man. Something like